minute. Okay. All right. Us, I think I am already online. Please let me know if you guys see me. Okay, Us, yes, very good. Thank you. Us, thank you very much, everybody. Us, my name is George or Jorge. I'm a karate Shotokan practitioner. My sensei name is Sensei Isami Shiroma. Our dojo is based on New York, USA. At this point, I'd like to thank Sensei Martin and Sensei Nadia for giving me this opportunity to teach on this beautiful platform. I have accepted this invitation because your cause is noble. We're all going through difficult times. We're going through crises, and I think at this point the whole family of karate has become into one single dojo. It's virtual, but it's a beautiful idea, and I'm very honored to be here. I would like to express my most sincere condolences to the people who are suffering, the people who have lost their loved ones, especially for the people who continue to suffer to these times. It's a difficult time, and at this point in time, the collective effort of all of us should be to help and support each other. It is important that the karate spirit comes to your houses, continue in our heart, and we continue to teach. And also, as karatekas, I think our job is to bring a message of wellness to everybody, not only karate practitioners, but the whole world. Okay, with that being said, I would like to also express my sincere thankfulness to all the people who have helped me through karate practice. I am not the product of myself. I am the product of many other people. My sensei, all the masters, all the senseis all over the world have helped me to develop what I have. And what I have, I hope I could pass on to you and give you the best I can today in this special class. So my class today is a special class. I like to talk about the basic training. I like to talk about biomechanics. I like to transfer that knowledge into basic training. That's basically it today. It's a basic training, but basic training is very important to all of us. I think that a lot of us neglect the idea that basic training is just basic training. No, basic training has helped me to improve and evolve more as an experienced black belt. Okay, with that in hand, I also like to transfer that into some basic techniques that I think are important for us, and eventually we'll transfer all that into the karate, Heian Shodan. Heian Shodan, it is the fundamental kata in Shotokan practice, but its value is very important. Once we have all this together, the value of our first elements in karate are important. We cannot neglect that. And I think that, I said that a few seconds ago, we need to maintain our basics. And this is my whole point of this class today, basic training, okay? So why don't we start like a regular class? I hope you can see me. You hear me? Okay, very good. Okay, so why don't we start warming up? Very important. We need to warm up always. I like to do a jumping technique, like a jump rope technique. We could do side step, almost like you do in kumite, the same way, the other way. So remember, I'm not going to give you a lot of whole things, today, because I like to do some informational training today. So we're going to try to compress everything because of the time situation, the time constraints. So okay, so we continue to do it this way, or we could do jumping jacks, zigzag, side to side. We could do our arms, move your elbows, elbow strike, anything you do, a little bit of rotation on your hips, back and forth, side, Okay, and then switch your hips, a little more top, little tops. The whole point is to warm up, at least for 5 minutes. You need to warm up, okay? So now, we're gonna do, I wanna show you very important exercises. Now we're gonna move into the biomechanics of the body, okay? So very importantly, I wanna focus mostly in the hip mobility. Why is important hip mobility in Shotokan practice or Karate practice? Because your hip is where we transfer, not necessarily generate the power that we need to strike. We transfer our power from your hip to the outside in a straight line. We need to create a circular momentum where we absorb the energy and we deliver in a straight line. Remember, circular momentum or circular velocity is simply a straight line that changes direction. So that's what we want to do. How do we do that? How do we do that? We're going to do it with our body. We're going to transform our body into an energy machine. We need to develop that and transfer all that. For that, we need to have a good hip mobility. The hip mobility, it comes from exactly your hip, not your abdominal side, but the hip. Your hip joints need to move. Therefore, a lot of your training to develop the hip mobility has to be on your hips. For that, I'm going to show you basic exercises that is going to help you to develop that hip mobility. Your hip bone has to move here, not your upper body. A lot of people in seminars, I see people doing this, and this. It's wrong. You're going to have back problems. You're going to have a sore back at the end. What I want everybody is to understand that hip mobility requires coordination and a lot of effort in developing this quality, okay? So, now, number one exercise I want everybody to practice is chikodachi and squat down. But watch, most people lean forward. That's okay. But important in karate practice and many sports is called stretch strength techniques. Stretch strength is going to stretch and strengthen your muscles at the same time. When you are squatting down in the chikodachi position, you are executing specific exercises that eccentrically is going to work in your adductors and also going to work in your quadriceps and your gluteus. You're specifically working on your rear end muscles. Watch. Back straight, go down, and you go down. That's what you want to do. I'm okay with you guys doing this. It's okay. But we need to save time. We need to be efficient. And that's the whole principle of biomechanical work. So we're going to do a few of these on your own. We're going to do 30 times, 20, 50, as many as you feel comfortable. But this is the whole dynamics, okay? So once we do this, now every time you do something, do the opposite. Now, you're going to work on the internal part of your hips. Look, internally. Look, in, out, in. Out, right? In, out, in. Okay, perfect. Do many of those until you feel comfortable, okay? Now, side to side stretch. Everybody knows that. But watch. Again, my back straight. And keep your back straight. Back straight. Side. Side. Back straight. Working all your muscles. Look, my ankles are flat. My feet are flat. I'm holding myself on the ground. Okay? So, very good. Now, once you do that, again, I say do the opposite as well. Do your ITB band and your piriformis or gluteal muscle has to be stretched. This everybody knows that. This is an easy one, but I think it's important. Okay, then down, stretch, few seconds. I suggest 15 to 20 seconds is fine. Relax. Okay, another one, very important. The reverse butterfly. Watch, reverse butterfly. Everybody does this. It's so easy to do that. No, you need to put your feet outside. Your feet outside in this fashion, and you need to sit. Why is this important? I'm going to tell you in the middle why is this important. Again, remember, I want everybody to progressively do this. It's not something that you're going to do overnight. Slowly. If you are good at it, congratulations. If you're not, go slow. Okay? Now, I'm going to add one more element to this stretch. Keep your foot out and stretch your hamstring. Open your leg. Stretch your hamstring down. Rotate. Okay? So far, a lot of people, I think, are familiar with this. Okay? Now, watch. You're going to go forward and stretch your body. Forward. And stretch and rotate. Okay. Now, why is this important? Why is this important? We are externally rotating your femur, your bone. You are stretching your joints inside. And why is it important? It's because by doing this, I know a lot of people find this very painful and difficult to do it, but you are creating an extra a few centimeters, I would say, a little more space of mobility of your joint, especially when you are going to do kutsudachis and kutsudachi. It's very important. So you do both sides. Again, look, down, hold it for a few seconds, rotate, and then go forward. Okay, very good. Everybody is aware of this. Please continue. Okay, now another one. Look, straight line. Straight line, knee forward, knee to heel in a straight line. Very important. You're going to rotate your hips. Rotate your hip as you keep a tight contraction of your gluteus. Good. Go like this and go like that. Switch sides. Slow. You don't have to go too fast. Go slow and like that. Okay. Very important. That's a good exercise you could do to maintain your hip mobility. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about a little bit of your psoas major or psoas muscle, which is a hip flexor. Very important, very irritable muscle, a very important muscle in karate because we're going to kick. That's the muscle we contract to kick, you know. So this muscle is very irritable because it's a big muscle. It holds your hip joint, your hip bone, and it travels down to your back. It gets irritated when you start long hours in the tournament, in the seminar. You feel pain in your back and here, right? It's because your psoas major is contracted, it's tired. So you stretch it. It's very difficult to stretch. A lot of people do this. It's not good. You need to contract your gluteus and push your hip a little forward, and that's all this muscle needs to be stretched. And it's a very strong muscle. This muscle works eccentrically to create force in your body. Okay? I don't want to go into many details, but that's how you do it. Look, hold it, 90-degree angle, and push forward, and you could always contract your abdominal to create a little more of a stretching to it. Okay? So that's it. I think there's so many exercises, but I think those are the basic exercises I feel that everybody should know before you practice, before you come into the actual practice of basic training. Now, let's start with our Chokusuki. Now we all warmed up, perhaps. Now we're going to do basic training. How basic it is, okay? Basic training is this, simple. You tate, shuto, uke. Hashishidashi. Good stability. Hold your feet stable. Absorb the energy from the ground. Keep yourself level. Relax your knees. Relax your hips. Relax your shoulders. But good stability. You feel like you are suctioning. Your feet are suctioning to the ground. Very important. Tate shuto uke. No. Look, my arm does not stay in, stays out. Gain a little bit of distance. But isolating this muscle, protracting your shoulder, contracting your lats, contracting all your muscles on your shoulder and your pectorals and serratus. You go up. Okay, now we're going to create that circular motion that I said before and deliver that force into a straight line with your fist. So how do you do that? First, like I said before, hold yourself. Okay, now watch. There's 3 points that we need to know. Look, create a pocket on your right hip. You're punching with the right. Straight punch. Chokusuki means straight punch. So look, I create a pocket on my right hip. Then I create another pocket in my left hip. And then I create another one in my right hip again. It's actually 3 movements. It's no secret. It's no mystery. It's simple as that. Look, hold yourself in the ground. So 1, without bending your knees too much, relax your knees. 2 and 3. So it's 3 movements. The wave, the vibration that we call, or the circular motion that you do. Now we do with the left. 1, 2, and 3. Again, 1, 2, and 3. Good? So that's 3 points. Some people argue with me that it's only 2. It's okay. As long as you feel comfortable. To me, this is how it's being taught to me, and it works for me. So now, where we do one single one, watch, and I want everybody to see now the dynamics of the movement. Okay? Use your breathing, very important, and deliver. Here, that's how you do it. Like you're closer, so you could see the vibrational movement as I keep my knees light, nice, and relaxed. Okay, let's try it. Let's try everybody. Let's try 10 times. Ready? My count. Ready? Now everybody feel that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. If you can do it today, one day you'll do it, but keep that in mind. Ready? You can. Relax. Relax your body. Always relax your body. The normal tendency of everyone is to tense. It's okay. That's nature. Relax after that. Okay, now we're going to transfer all that into our front stance. Hopefully, I could show you the transfer of the same knowledge into Kibadachi and Kukutsudachi. But for now, let's try that front stance. Everybody, right foot, sorry, it's right foot. Usually I like to stay with the left, but because of the camera, I gotta show you right. Front stance. Senkutsudachi. Put your hands on your hip. So now we are ready to show a little bit of what we developed a few minutes ago. Put your hands on your hip. Now watch. My knees don't move, but my hip turns. Right? And as you turn back to hand me, sideline, you create a pocket here too. Now you create a pocket here. You create a pocket here. Okay, that's 2. Hami shomen. And yakuhami is a little more. Okay, now we're going to put some strikes. Okay, so now hami to kisamsuki. Hold it slow. Squeeze. We're not doing fast. We're just working on your hip. And yakusuki. Look. And uchuke. A little more. Remember, your feet remain flat. Your knees remain unmovable. They're going to move a little bit naturally, of course, but you need to focus on this area. Again, Samsuki, Yatsuki, Uchuke. Now, I want to see you this view. So, Samsuki, Yatsuki, Uchuke. My knee hasn't moved. Only my hip moves. Remember that. Very important. Okay? Again, Samsuki, Yatsuki, Uchuke. Here. Back straight, posture is important. Pelvic tilting. Let's talk about pelvic tilting a little bit. Why is so important? We need to tilt our pelvis, right? Even before, I meant to say that when we do this, we need to create a contraction. We don't fight like that, right? We don't fight with your pelvis like this. We don't do katas like that, right? The reason of pelvic tilting is a lot of ballet athletic trainers show this because we need to find a point of awareness of your center of gravity, stability. Everybody is different. We all have different symmetry. People are big, people are small. We need to find our center. By contracting these muscles and creating that stability form, you ground yourself better. It's on your own. How you do it? You need to perform that daily and find yourselves. Find where you feel more comfortable by contracting these muscles. Your abdominal, your pelvic floor has to be tight. Your gluteus, you minimize your lordosis, and you keep yourself stable. And by doing that, you will feel your own point. You're not going to fight like that. No, it's a drill that helps you to find your center of gravity and build more stability on your core and your abdominal region and pelvic region. Okay. So now let's go back to this again. So now, Kisamsuki again, nice. Yakusuki, Uchiuke again. All right, now I'm gonna put a little more impetus, a little more momentum in it. Now we will do a little bit of the vibration if you can, a little more advanced. So you push your hip in, and Kisamsuki and Yakusuki. Now remember one thing, our body rotates, your hip rotates, but naturally your body is going to move forward a little bit. So it's a rotation, but it's a slight move forward. When you punch, even Yakusuki moves, and then you Uchiuke, you create a wall here on the side with your foot to block. So remember that the rotational fashion or rotational idea in practical life is actually a slight transfer of forces forward and backwards. So it's almost like a pocket door, right? As some instructors explain that. It's a pocket door. Okay, relax. We're gonna do the other side. Ready? So, Kisamsuki, Yakusuki, Uchiuke. That's the basic training. Here, and here. Yame. Relax. So keep that in mind. Keep doing that daily. And then continue to do that. Okay, so as you get better at this flexibility, mobility, you could add rubber bands, okay, to your practice. Have rubber bands, so you could put rubber bands into your hips. Look, these are rubber bands. Look how I use, that's how you use rubber bands. But you working with this hip, okay, very important, okay? Oh, hip flexion. Well, this is food for another session, perhaps. So, now we're going to take a 10 seconds break, 15 seconds break as you develop a little more relaxation, relax your shoulders. Now, all this knowledge, all these ideas, I like to transfer them into Heian Shodan. Heian Shodan is the fundamental kata of Karate Shotokan. Again, a lot of people neglect Heian Shodan as a beginner's kata. It is not a beginner's kata. There is no beginner's kata. If you know how to use your hip, if you know how to perform, if you know how to develop strength and energy, any kata should be important to the practice of Karate Do. So now with all this that we know, I'll try to incorporate all this knowledge into very specific points in Heian Shodan. Peaceful Mind is the first kata of series of 5. Heian Shodan was created by Sensei Itosu in early 1900s. It was a kata that was adapted from Okinawa, and Okinawa adapted that kata from China, as it was called Chanan. And in Okinawa it was called Pinon. And in Japan it was transformed into Heians for instructional purposes. The kata has changed over the years, but the essence of the kata is still the same. So we're going to go through this, and as I give you my pointers to you, I like you guys to remember all the things we did a few minutes ago. Okay. All right, everybody. Let me check the time. I don't know what time we are. Okay, good. There we go. Okay, very good. All right, so everybody, first movement on Heian Shodan. Hip. We are focused on the hip. My sensei says, when you are practicing kata, always focus on one thing at a time. So this time, we're going to focus on your hip only, okay? So, the first movement. We're going to turn our hip as we did before. Look. We did before. Your knees and your feet point into the direction you're going. This is most beginners, right? It's okay. Now, you're going to turn as you go with the help of your hips and preparation. So, here. That's step 1. Step 2, shome, hami, like we did before. From the side view, turn, it, shome, hami. Good form, okay? Again, everybody, okay, let's do it together. So, drop your body weight, turn your head, prepare, turn your hips, keep your foot grounded, step forward, and then get on barai. Okay, next one. We still have the concept of a straight line, right? All our body, our whole body, not only the hand, has to turn into a straight line. Think about that. When you go forward, you need to concentrate to develop a straight line movement. Look what? My hips are in, a little in, not out, not completely in. Slide it in, keep your pelvis in, and then create the rotational motion that we need to do, okay? So everybody, from the beginning, for each knee, sub, shi, look, and then go. Very good, okay? Hopefully you're following through. I'm sorry, might be a little too fast, but I feel like rushing time. But now how you go back? How do you do that? You going back, a lot of people have difficulty rotating, going back. The same thing. Your hips have to move. Your hip have to coil in to return as you look back. Here, as you prepare. Come, and then the same thing. Okay? So let's try from this way. Look. Whoop, here. Come. And then you rotate your hip. Okay. Next movement. Look. I'm here. The same thing. Your hip has to come and then strike down. Don't go down anymore. JK doesn't want you to go down anymore. You need to stay up the original way. And also, you do the movement or circular movement and develop the force on your hip. Here. Okay? Very good. Next one, the same thing. Forward and more. We're cutting down now. We're going to one motion. Before I did three steps, now we do one. Next one. You look to your left. Right? Get down barai. Hey, hip. Next movement. Kamai. Then ayu hip. Hip. Kamai. Ayu hip. And then kamai ayu hip. Hey, kia. Yame, relax. Okay. So remember, a lot of times, as we learn in kata, we start forgetting about the principle, right? So remember, today is only hip. Think about it. Then all the times we talk about the aesthetics, hands, everything is complex. The complexity of kata is beautiful, but you got to take one step at a time. Okay. So now I like to bring another concept, which is the rotational component of Heian Shodan. It's 270-degree turn, right? From Agi-Uke to Senkutsu Daikiji to Gedan Barai. Okay, why is that? Why is so important? Why is that? My own idea is that they created this kata early and they put this turn at the beginners because it's a difficult turn and it has taken a lifetime to learn how to rotate an opposite way or maybe counterclockwise in a defensive way. It's difficult. But I would like to give you understanding of the rotational motion of this. First of all, as I say before, your best friend is your hip. Your best friend is your pocket. So when you turn from Agi-Uke, you want to bring your hand to your hip. And as you keep your hip close to your body, you want to rotate. So you don't lose your posture. And then you come forward. So again, let's try this before. Let's try it together. From Agi-Uke, bring your hand, as you bring your hand to your hip, you're going to bring your hip in as you rotate, and then you're going to block. That will make it easier for you guys to turn 270-degree turn, okay? Let's try it. Let's try it together. Agi-Uke. Ready? Turn. Hip, and then block, okay? Very good. Let's try it again. One more time. Agi-Uke. Turn, and as you get better, you get better. Okay? So we're breaking it down. Now, eventually, it's going to be one motion. And we're going to go into the fast speed in a few more reps. Okay? One more time. Agi-Uke, turn, and then get on barai. Same thing. Step forward and punch. Going back as we did before. Then back, and then punch. Now, we're going back this way, 2, 3 punches, get down barai. Now watch, I'm going to show you this way. Get down barai, look, the same feeling, look. I'm going down, straight line, punch, 1, rotation, vibrational movement, then the same thing, and one more time. And here, yeah. Good, now, we're going back to do the same concept as before. Rotational, Shotoke Kukutsudachi. A little more difficult perhaps, because you gotta keep this. Kukutsudachi is important. Kukutsudachi is important because it requires a lot of strength, a lot of stability on the back rear leg. And at the same time, you need to keep that ability to strike or to move and develop that power that you need. It's difficult, but not impossible to do it. So as we do it, we're going to do it together, and then follow my pointers. Okay, from Judan Osuki. Now look, the same thing. Look, my hand goes first. My body goes first. Then my hand, my leg, and then you switch your body. Maintaining this position of balance in your rear leg. Okay? Then now the next one, the same thing. Hold it and rotate. The same thing here. Hold it and rotate. The same thing here. Hold it and rotate. Okay? So let's do one more time. So, from Chudansuki. So look. Look and turn. Look. My body is already pointing the direction that I want to block or strike. And then I switch. Don't open too much. It's right here. Shoulder level. Next, the same thing here. Next, the same thing here. Next to your left, the same thing there. Good. Okay, relax. Okay, so these are pointers that you guys need to work on. I've been working on all my life. I continue to do so. So now, I like to do my second. Why don't we take 10 seconds break? 10 seconds break. Okay. All right, good. Take a little break. Okay. Now we're going to go through the whole dynamics, okay? But don't go fast yet. Just think about it, right? Like I said before, just think about your hip, how you could adjust and start be mindful, right? Mindfulness. Focus is almost like a biofeedback mechanism, right? It's like you be aware of your internal, and that's how you do it, one step at a time. So okay, we're gonna go through the whole series. Now, 1 count, 1 movement, hip rotation, relax, a straight line, relax your body, and we keep moving. Okay, ready, okay, all right, stay on, Shudan, ready. Okay, number 1 movement, look, 1 each, go, nice, 1, look, good form, knee, good form, keep your back straight, feet flat, some, look, she, speech, hunch, yeah, Joe, each, some, she, hey, hunch, yeah. Okay, 21 steps. Counting is important too, okay? We're gonna do one more time. A little more faster with the hip. A little more faster, okay? Try to think that the hip is controlling your body, okay? Don't think too much about the blocking. Yes, focus on your legs a little bit, but I think that the hip does the job for now, okay? Ready? Ready? Go again. Itch. Nick. So. She. Oh. Oh. Tich. Hutch. Oh, yeah. Hey. Joe. Itch. 22. My mistake. Just relax. Okay. Very good. Okay, now we go a little faster now. But so now the question is, how we go faster, right? That's what a lot of people tend to ask, even myself. How do I get faster at this? How do I get more stronger and faster, right? So is the utilization of all forces, or internal forces and external forces. What I mean by external forces, right, is a very complex concept. Internal forces, we practice years and years and years to get push out to other drills. But at one point, how do we get faster? So what I understand, and I think that our goal is to combine our internal forces with the external forces of nature, which is gravity. Gravity is a very important component, believe it or not, in our use of karate. We are allowing our body to explode, but we are allowing also our body to fall the momentum of the force of gravity. No more strength. That's why a lot of instructors say, don't be too tight in the shoulders, because we're trying to overcome the forces of gravity. That's why we get tight, because we're going to do that, right? So the drill or the execution of these techniques are important. It has to do a lot with breathing, relaxation, but it's a lot to do with explosiveness, right? So if you allow me, I could demonstrate a little bit, because it's an ongoing mechanism. It's an ongoing process of learning. If you know it, I congratulate you. If you don't know, take notes. If you know, rehearse it, make it perfect. And that's the whole point of karate, right? Perfection. So I'm going to do the first movement. I'm going to allow my body to perform all that in one movement, but I allow my body to fall by itself, again, in the direction I want it to move, okay? So the first movement is Gedan Barai. As I do and explode, and I block. That was the first movement. And again, go back, okay? So now everybody try this, but don't think too much about the techniques. Focus on your hips and focus on your explosiveness, and allow your body to drop into the direction that you want to do, okay? So we're gonna do, hopefully we could do all of them like this, right? But we're trying. Get your number one. Make sure you look first, okay? And remember, one little concept before we move. Remember that your leg is gonna land a little bit ahead of your movement. That's the concept. There's a tenth of a second before, because you need to maintain stability first before you strike. But that's very slight, very faint movement that you need to have. Okay, so let's go number one. And we're gonna take a pause in between and deliver. Take a pause in between and deliver, and then slowly, when you get better, you put it all together. Okay? So number one. Yo, relax. All right, itch. Relax. Knee. So. Chi. Ho. No. Itch. Hutch. Good. Yeah. Now watch how I rotate. Three punches. Now, okay. Yummy. Relax. Now, take a break. 15 seconds. Take some water. Relax. Okay, 5 seconds, relax. So, all this is a mastery, a development. I'm a little short of breath, so something might be wrong, right? So use your breathing correctly. It's very important. We're going to try to correct it also. Then these other elements, other than the velocity, the explosiveness, is also your hikite, right? Or kime. There's another word which I know people that are really good at it, but we're working on that. Now, why don't we explore that a little bit? Let's move up a little bit the notch, and then we're going to do a good hikite as we've developed that. Hikite. Hikite, it should come from your hip. It should not be hitting your gi. That's cheating. You need to come, it has to come when you hip. And your hip. Okay, that's what, let's try that. Okay, this is a little advanced. Let's try that. Okay, so focus on that. Let's go. Go. Hey, hey, and shoulder. Go. Hikite only. Okay. We haven't moved away from the hips, but try to coordinate that now. Ready? Ich. Ni. So. Chi. Oh. Oh. Ich. Hach. Go. Yeah. Go. Ich. Ich. So. Chi. Oh. Go. Pitch. Aya. Go! Jump! Yummy! Relax. Okay, relax. Okay, so that. Did we get enough already? Get the hip exercises. Okay, now why don't we add one more element to the biodynamical motion of this? Believe it or not, there is more to it. I'm going to show it to you. Okay, so everybody, next page. Next page. Let's go. Okay, it's the same kata. A little more, an extra. So what do we do with your shoulders? What do we do with our hands, right? We are transforming our bodies into a power machine. More specifically, a traveling body that has to go fast, quick, and powerfully. If you have wings in this fashion, you will fly, right? But if we have obstructs or elements in this fashion, will prevent us to move faster. So therefore, we have to create an element of aerodynamic movement where you keep your elbows close to your body as much as you can and all the movements possibly. But what else we can do with your shoulders, right? Because we are creating a force of striking force, the opposite side of your joint, or opposite side of your arm, also helps into that. Look, here, see, the shoulder, the other shoulder, that is a little advanced. I don't want everybody to focus because I feel that we have a lot of levels of learning here. But remember, this hand helps the other to move. And the same thing in Heian Shodan. So, Shotokan Karate has a quality that brings the big into the smaller, right? Before I show you this, okay, that's big, that's very obvious, right? But what actually one, in essence, is to be subtle and secret, perhaps, right? Small but powerful, small and powerful, small and powerful. Not big, but you start big, and it becomes narrower and smaller and powerful and lethal is possible, okay? More straighter. Okay, so now, in this case, when you turn to your left, what do you do with the shoulders? What do you do with the hands? You keep them tight. to keep them close, you contract and expand. You know, you heard of contraction, expansion, right? So you contract. Look, my shoulder is helping already the rotational motion of the other hand. Remember that. So look, turning, look my hand, look my shoulder. I'm not completely straight. My shoulder is slightly out. Ready, look. I dislocate. I protract my shoulder slightly bit to create that tension to rotate. Okay, so let's try that. Don't think about the feet anymore. Let's focus on the shoulders. So look, watch here. I'm protecting. Come on. And then look. And then you walk. Right? And you come in here. You leave your shoulder there. You leave your hand there. It's here. And then walk. So you focus on the opposite side to create that motion. Look, look, here. Good. Okay? Then same thing with this. Okay? When you try, look here, 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 and here, here, and here. So it's a little complex, but I want to vaguely touch this. It's even a little bit advanced, I would say, but it's important for you to understand that that's how the human works. Human body, literally we work in rotational fashion. We don't work like this. We work like this. Okay? So this one, very important here. Now look, my shoulder stays. My body moves. And strike. The same thing with this. Look. Look. And then block. Look. Look. I created an extra sling for the okay. Same thing with the other side, and so on and so forth. Okay? So remember that these little tricks do help eventually to develop, consciously develop more speed, power, and so many repetitions of this, eventually it becomes an unconscious move of a delivery of forces. Forces of body. Our body was made to walk, right? Humans were made to bipedals. We were made to walk in straight line, right? We're not. I'm not sure we were made to fight, but we had to become fighters. And I think a good example of the biodynamics of animals is that cheetahs and wolves, they have narrow hips. You know, they work for long distances, and also they are very fast. So the whole point is exactly that. You want to narrow your body as much as you can when you strike, when you move. You can't strike like that. It's difficult. You need to narrow yourself and keep your stability to do that here. Okay? So keep that in mind, that straight line is the key when you practice kumite, straight line, or kata, straight line. Don't open. You subject yourselves to unbalance, and it's difficult to generate the hip, the strength that you need and the velocity that you need. Okay? So now let's try and let's focus on the shoulder a little bit. Okay, I changed a little bit, but now we're going to focus on the hip, and we're going to try to see if you feel that figure of 8 motion of your body. Okay, ready? Let's do one more time. Ready? Each, look my shoulder. Ni, san, look. Shi, o, 6, 8, 9, 10. Look, my shoulder goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Relax. Really good. Right? Relax your shoulders, relax your back. Okay. Right? Good. Relax your hips. Okay. Now, I like to bring this knowledge into something that I would like to make it more obvious to you, a little more explicitly, and see how that works in all the katas. I'm not going to do another kata, but I'm going to show you a difficult part that has been a challenge for me, and I think is a challenge for a lot of people, how we use the rotational element. For example, in Sochin kata, for example, okay, now we're going from Heian Shodan to Sochin kata, you know, how is that possible? It is possible because Sochin, all the katas in the karate system requires a great deal of memory. 26 movements, maybe over 1,000 of movements altogether. I multiply what 26 by what 340 or something. It's a lot. It's a lot in our heads. But the common element in kata is your hip. Okay. So now only the first movement of Sochin, which is an advanced kata, will resemble everything we've done in the past few minutes. Okay. So Sochin, right? So then look, I create a pocket. I'm creating a pocket in my hip, and as I go down, I control my body weight on my rear leg, and I go in a straight line. A lot of people go out. No, it is a straight line. I look, my hip still in shomen, but slowly turn. Again, look here. Look, and then start turning your hip. And then, when you move forward, look, the same thing. Look, I create a pocket, straight line, and look, I'm turning my hip. At that point, look, the idea, the goal is to turn yourself like a figure of 8. And when you punch, you deliver that force, that your potential energy you raise already, and as you punch. Again, look, using your hip. Okay? So all the katas, they have same elements in Shotokan. Heians, Teki, even Teki. So now the same thing with Kibadachi, everybody, okay? Open, ready, open Kibadachi, the hand out, look. Good Kibadachi means exactly what I said before. Your hips have to be slightly rotated in, knees point forward, feet are parallel, sit, your pelvis is in, shoulders relax. You could be there for hours. A lot of people tend to do this. Not good. That's for training purposes only. But good Kibadachi requires that. Now, Chokusuki from Kibadachi, or maybe a variation of that, will help you with your hip mobility. Look my hip. Look, without compromising the movements of your knees. Only hip, all right? So let's try a little bit to end this session. We're gonna do some Kibadachi to feel that comfortability of moving your hips and awareness of these movements, okay? So everybody, Kibadachi, hand out, look, the same thing as we did at the beginning, but in Kibadachi, look, ich, ni, san, chi, go, sich, punch, hoop, juke. Okay, now we're gonna do right and left. The key for this drill is not the shoulders, is the hip. Look. Okay, let's try that. Left hand out. Ready? Right side, left side. Relax. Hey. Sup. Chi. Whoop. Look. Sich. Punch. Hoop. Juke. Yame. Relax. So, this is the end. I hope I have given you some valuable information to you guys. I would like to thank for all the people who watch me. I'd like to thank all the people who came, and I hope I was helpful to you guys, and I take these little tips that are not my tips, these things I have gathered from other instructors of my knowledge in karate. Quería saludar a mis amigos latinoamericanos. Yo estoy lejos, en Nueva York, pero Latinoamérica está en mi corazón. Yo soy ecuatoriano y Ecuador y Latinoamérica está en mi corazón. Thank you very much for everybody to come and be part of this class and support this noble cause with Sensei Martin and Sensei Nadia. Thank you very much.